Hey guys, and welcome to the fourth episode of the Future Passage podcast. So, today we're going to be talking and digging into the automobile industry and mostly about self driving cars. So, self driving cars are already a reality. We all know that. Well, what a few years ago sounded too futuristic or nearly impossible actually now exists. So, of course, we have to start talking about Tesla, which is the leading company here in the industry right now. So, Tesla's current level two autopilot, this is their current market consists of the level two autopilot, which requires the driver to remain alert and ready to act in the car with hands on the wheel. Even though the car drives by itself, the driver has to be always aware of everything. But according to Elon Musk, almost all vehicles are reaching level 5 autonomy around 2021, which requires no driver input. And this has been generating a lot of discussion in the industry. And because they say that even if Tesla can reliably roll out with the technology in a production environment, the regulatory environment of the market and the general automobile industry, it's way behind allowing actually the completely autonomous vehicles on the road. So there's a lot of discussion in the industry where Ford, Uber, and Waymo and other companies are criticizing Tesla actually, saying that its vehicles are not truly autonomous because they still require an active driver. So, what do you guys think about this discussion? What do you guys think it should be allowed for this type of cars to be going out there, or how the industry is gonna go in the future?
I think that it's inevitable to stop cars from moving in the direction of autonomy. Um, I think it's kind of foolish to say that the cars aren't autonomous, but I understand where they're coming from. It, it's just that with anything that's new, there needs to be severe testing, especially something as dangerous as a car. So something like a self-driving car, it needs to be put through severe testing, and it's put into something called like beta phase, which is basically where it's just in progress. And the level 5 autonomy is something I'm actually very excited for, and I expect the industry to quickly move in that direction once the technology is available. I do think that in the near future we are going to see um, people overestimating the autonomy, or um, or getting into some very bad accidents, as we've seen with people overestimating the autonomy. Recently, there was a really bad Tesla crash where some people weren't even at the wheel and just went on in like the back seat, and they're no longer with us. But and I've heard that Tesla has received a lot of criticism because they did not uh, or they're not educating people on enough on the level of autonomy that their vehicles have, and that they don't stress enough how much people need to be at the wheel. And I disagree with that as well. I think that they are telling people, but people will be people, and tend to be foolish. So,
Yeah,
um,
what I saw is that companies like Waymo and Cruise have been testing their self-driving cars in controlled like pilot programs. But Tesla has decided to put like the self-driving technology test into the hands of the actual consumers by updating a few of their softwares and everything. So they have been testing it with a few consumers. So also that's a discussion that has been put out there.
yeah, I think that's by testing it with the consumers. I think it's very clever. It's also very dangerous, but it I think that there is no better way of testing the cars than actually having them in consumers' hands. As long as you're responsible, um, all it does is speed up the process of which bugs can be fixed, and the technology can be rolled out even faster. It's just pushing progress quickly, but it does come with heavy risks. So I'm actually really curious what you guys think about that as well.
Personally, I like it. I think it can be risky, but it's the way it needs to be tested, and go. My question was, would you guys would buy like a self-driving car, like buy to for your own personal use? That's why I'm interested on.
Well, actually depends. Like if the stage five of the like right now they're in stage five of all the precautions of the self-driving car and all the things that implies um, that it's going to be a safer way for you to travel home, but like that doesn't guarantee right now. If for example if you're drunk and you're in your self-driving car and then you forget, like there are a lot of things you forget, that it's an autonomy car, then like I don't know, like there are a lot of things that go out of our control that can go bad, if there's no a lot of information about this, and a lot of people like know the pros and cons of the self-driving car. So I think it really depends of how aware are you of your safety, and if you're able to if you're able to get along with this new trend.
Yeah, especially because like back to what Vicente and Armando were saying, it's like education about the safety is important to be able to adapt to it. And yeah.
Another thing that I thought it was super interesting. Did you guys know exactly how the Tesla calculates where it's driving? It's actually incredible. Like the AI on board can detect like how wet a road is before even driving on it, just depending on like the reflection of the water on the road, as well as
Yeah.
tracking things like lines, stop signs, things from like not miles away, but like hundreds of feet away. And it like marks every single object in its sensors. There's a video that I'll play right now on the version that's going up on this the version of the podcast that's on YouTube, but for people on Spotify, they wouldn't be able to hear it completely. I mean, to see it completely. But basically, what you would see is the car has these two lines that mark the borders of the road, and then it'll mark things like when you're going to an intersection and then there's like those arrows at the like that tell you, okay, you can go straight here, you can make a right here, and like you get on the appropriate lane to make the turn. The car marks that as well as any moving objects, and has like appropriate labels for everything from how wet the road is, whether it's raining, whether there's an intersection and the road cuts off to a different point. It's actually crazy how detailed it is, and it's kind of like cyberpunk when you look at it. Like it looks like it's not real. It looks like it's from the future. It's crazy.
Yeah, so we can see clearly that there's many pros and of course a few cons in this industry in general. So we can see that they talk a lot about human error and how the self-driving cars are going to be able to fix this and decrease the number of road accidents and things like that. Also, it will help in reducing the CO2 emissions. It's going to be more environmentally friendly. So yeah, in general, we can see that, and as any other product, we have pros and cons, but it's becoming a reality. And so yeah, that was a great talk, and thank you guys very much for listening to this episode. And keep up with us for the next and final episode, the fifth episode for our podcast.